What's up, guys? Welcome back to more Reddit stories about Karens, crazy people, and anything else we find interesting. Hope you're all doing awesome, and as usual, we got some more Reddit posts to check out today, so be sure to share your thoughts about today's stories down in the comments, and let's get into it. Karen didn't want to pay, so a firefighter lit her up. I, 19 female, work at a small cafe with my mom. It's just a cozy place where people come for good coffee, warm food, and a bit of kindness. My mom is the gentlest soul you'll ever meet. The kind of person who thanks you even when you mistreat her, or apologizes if you bump into her. Yeah, that kind. Yesterday, this woman, a couple, walks in, all designer bag, oversized sunglasses, and condescension. She orders a chicken salad, eats 90% of it, I'm not exaggerating, then calls my mom over with an attitude. With the most sour face imaginable, she went, "This food tastes like absolute garbage. I want to write a complaint." Here we have this thing. It's like an official complaint book businesses must provide by law. My mom, visibly shaken, was trying to explain that she was sorry to hear that and offer her a refund, but the lady kept cutting her off and acting like a bitch and looking around like she wanted an audience, and that's when I stepped in. I said, "Ma'am, if you'd like to write a complaint, I'll gladly bring it to you. But I'm sure you're aware that first you'll need to pay your bill. That's the law." She blinked at me like I just kicked her chihuahua, and she said, and I quote, "You know who I am? I won't pay for the service, I can tell you that." And then entered the husband. He stood up all puffed chest and testosterone and started telling us, we better watch ourselves, don't know who we're messing with, and other cliches straight from the entitled rich guy starter pack. My mom was frozen. I was trying to stay calm because at this point I almost crapped myself too, because this guy was flexing like he wanted to fight. And then, right before I crapped myself up, the salvation. One of our regulars, Carlos, stood up. Carlos is a firefighter, drinks his coffee black, wears a calm face, and once carried an injured golden retriever down 3 flights of stairs. The man's basically an action movie character. He walks over, slow and steady, and goes, "Sir, your wife ate the entire plate. You insulted a woman who cooks with love and gives out free soup to people who can't afford lunch. Now you're trying to intimidate them?" The husband mumbled something macho and Carlos didn't flinch. He leaned in a little and said, "Either you pay for the food, apologize, and leave, or I call the police. Unless you want to solve this in an old school way." Guess what? They paid. And not just the bill, because Carlos made sure they left a tip too. And then Carlos looked at me and said, "Add a bottle of water to their bill. She clearly needed something to wash down all that bullshit." Mic drop. Thank you, Carlos. My mother-in-law kidnapped my baby. So a little backstory. My husband is an only child. His mom has always been very involved. We got along somewhat, but she always sort of crossed some lines. She has a key to our house for emergency purposes only because she lives 4 blocks away. I had our daughter 4 weeks ago. She has been over at least 3 days every week since I've had her. She's always telling me what I am doing wrong and how she'd do things so differently. Baby is up every 2 hours at night and she insists she'd sleep through the night if she could stay at grandma's. I told her I'm not comfortable sending a breastfed baby away overnight at 4 weeks. This last week, she kept pushing the same issue no matter how many times I said no. Last night, we put the baby in her crib. We stopped room sharing because the baby was so loud I could get no sleep whatsoever, so my husband has been getting her when it's time for her to feed. Husband fell asleep early and I dozed off. I woke up 4 hours later and started to panic because she hadn't made any noise. I was sure she had died of SIDS. I went into her room and she was gone. I froze and started screaming her name around the house like she would somehow pop out like it was all a joke. My husband woke up in a panic and just screamed, "What's going on?" over and over. I ran to my phone to call 911 and saw a picture message from my mother-in-law of my sleeping baby in her arms with the caption, "Sleep over at Gam Gam's." I was immediately enraged. I screamed so hard I almost vomited. I called her and saw red. I told her I was coming to get the baby and she would never see her again and to never contact our family again. My husband decided it was best if he went to get her. When he came back, he said his mother decided to let herself in and, quote, give us a break, that she was sure we'd hear the text and she thought we would be thanking her for a night's sleep. I do not give a crap. I hate her. I cannot forgive her for this. My husband thinks I need to calm down, that we just need to get our key back. His lack of urgency about the situation makes me want to divorce him. We have never had any issues before this, but this feels like a deal breaker to me. I already had postpartum anxiety and now it's through the roof. I don't feel safe in my own home with my family. I hate my mother-in-law. I hate my husband. When I think about what happened, I sob uncontrollably. I can't sleep now that I know I can't protect my baby when I sleep. I can't believe I did not wake up. I feel like the biggest piece of crap mother. If any danger really came, I would have let my daughter down. Am I overreacting for wanting a divorce or for never wanting to see my mother-in-law again? My husband and mother-in-law think it's my hormones and I've overreacted. Am I overreacting? I just needed to talk about it with non-involved parties. I have no friends or family for hundreds of miles. Oh, and she also fed her formula while she had her, but that's the least of my worries. It still infuriates me because breastfeeding has been really hard for us. Update. I just wanted to give everyone a quick update. I called my mom late last night and I got a hotel. I refused to tell my husband where I was going, but told him the baby and I would be safe. My mom is disgusted about what I've been through. She's getting on a plane today to come help me. This entire experience has pushed me to the point that I need therapy, so today my first order of business is getting a therapist set up ASAP. I decided to go alone for a while and when I'm ready, go with my husband to see if there is a chance to move past this. Right now, I still don't want to, but I also agree I'm not in the place to make life-changing decisions. Either way, I can never move back into that house. I don't know what my plan is past these next few days yet, but I'm just going to take it day by day for right now. As for my mother-in-law, I'm going to go to the police today to find out how to get a restraining order. Her and my husband keep saying, "But she was safe. She was never in danger." I disagree. My mother-in-law is clearly not mentally capable to care for a child. Who knows what else she would do because she feels she knows best. Thank you all so much. I can't tell you how much the support from some internet strangers has meant to me. And moving on to the next update. I want to thank everyone again that thought about me after my first post. This past 2 weeks have been crazy for me emotionally. So soon after I wrote that post, my mom had arrived to help me get through my anxiety and support me. By the time she was here, I was in a hotel and still had not slept. It was going way too long without sleeping, and I think my deprivation of sleep was making me crazier. She came and sat with me while I slept. It was the most helpful thing anyone could have done for me. My husband asked to talk, so I agreed to meet up with him. He apologized and said he realized I was right. His mom had severely crossed the line and that it was hard for him to accept his mom did something so wrong. So in his head, he was telling himself it was not that bad and that if the baby wasn't hurt, then no harm was done. But he wasn't thinking about the hurt done to me and my feeling of insecurity. He said he changed the locks on the home and would support whatever I wanted to do with his mom. He said he was willing to cut off contact for a while, but asked I not press charges. We left it at that for that time. I told him I'd think about what he said and keep in touch. Shortly after this whole thing happened, I got a lot of texts from his family supporting me, and letting me know they were so sorry about what happened, and that no matter what, my baby and I are family and we have their support. That meant so much to me. People were finally backing me up, and it gave me some peace of mind. A few days after seeing my husband, we met up again. He had a letter from his mom. I thought about just throwing it out, but I decided to read it. It was a very long-winded apology. It basically said that she is sick about what she did. She said that if someone did that to her when her and her husband were young, she'd want them to die. She is terrified about losing me as a daughter-in-law and her grandchild, but she is going to keep her distance. She asked me to reach out if and when I am ready. I still haven't reached out to her and I don't know if I will. I feel like her letter may be genuine, but I don't think I will ever trust her again for obvious reasons. I feel like she sees it as an easier to have forgiveness than permission sort of thing. I'm in a hard place of trying to decide how to assert my authority as a mother without alienating my child from people who love them. I don't want my forgiveness to seem like weakness and in the end put my child in more situations like this. I've been getting help with all this in therapy, which I've started twice a week. Right now, the general guidance I get from my therapist is don't make any big moves yet. Divorce, moving long distances, cutting people out, etc. So I'm taking it day by day. I make sure my husband sees our child every day. We don't talk about the state of our marriage yet. I told him when I was ready we will talk. He's respected that, and it's made a huge difference in the hope I have for our future. So that is really it. There weren't really any dramatic blow-ups or legal action. There are still a lot of unanswered questions for me. But this time has been one filled with self-discovery and support from a lot of unexpected places, and for that I'm incredibly grateful. Now, in terms of OP's question about whether or not she was overreacting about all this, I honestly don't even feel like it's my place to even comment on that. And even putting aside postpartum hormones, an experience like this would probably be pretty terrifying for any parent. I think her reaction was understandable, all things considered. It is a good thing, though, that she let the situation mellow out a bit first, and didn't make any quick decisions while tension is still high. But overall, yeah, the mother-in-law absolutely crossed the line. Even if in her head in the moment she kinda saw it as like doing them a favor, she obviously didn't think things through and consider how this could be a straight-up traumatizing experience for the parents. But as far as we can tell, she does seem to have realized her mistake, and I'm also glad the husband seems to be supportive and understanding of his wife. So overall, this seems like a fairly positive and hopeful outcome. Entitled neighbor demands I move my garden because her dog doesn't like it. I have spent the last 2 years turning a patchy, neglected corner of my yard into a small but thriving vegetable garden. It's not huge, maybe 10 by 10 feet, but I've got tomatoes, peppers, herbs, even some strawberries going. It's my happy place. Linda, a new neighbor who moved in about a month ago, we'd only exchanged a polite hi once or twice. She showed up at my door last Saturday with her off-leash golden retriever standing beside her. She starts with, "Hi, I need you to do something about your garden, please." I asked her what she meant. She says, "Yeah, my dog doesn't like it. Every time he looks at it, he starts barking like crazy. He doesn't do that anywhere else. I think it's the smell of your compost, or maybe just the way it looks, whatever. Can you move it back a little so it's more hidden and he doesn't see it?" I was shocked, but stayed polite. Well, he will get used to it. Linda, completely serious. "No, I need you to move it, maybe to that back corner where it's more hidden." I just stood there for a second, trying to process if I'd heard her correctly. Then I said, "I'm not going to move my garden because your dog barks at it. Find a way to manage your dog." She goes, "The barking makes everything so uncomfortable. He barks really loudly because of your garden, and it's going to inconvenience other neighbors, or do you want to cause problems in the neighborhood?" A few days later, I found out from another neighbor that they confronted her about her dog's constant barking, and she told them I was the cause, saying I refused to cooperate. So apparently, my tomatoes are now the local menace? Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching. As always, I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. So take care, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one.